Into Game 4 between Band of the Red Hand and Tandem Bike. Currently, the score is Band of the Red Hand 2, Tandem Bike 1. And it seems we got a bunch of cannabis users over here on Tandem Bike. Perhaps that is inhibiting their play a little bit, as they've lost the last two games after winning the first. However, they got an opportunity to turn it all around here. If they win the next two games, they will earn the first seed in the qualifying rounds. However, if they lose this game or game 5, the first seed will go to the Band of the Red Hand. The teams have not changed since game 7. We got LSO, Gamer, Shadow, Killer King, Asmodean, Slate, Rat King, and for TB we got Universe, Foss, Ura, Thal, Akira, and Verminex. A 7-on-6 match. I'm surprised that neither of these teams wanted to dabble into the substitutes. I know that the other match played on the weekend did end around this time. But, I mean, at the same time, substitutes they change the dynamics of a match in more ways than I thought, to be honest. It's a lot more fun to just play with your own teammates anyway, so all the power to both these teams here. Let's look at the trades here. Pretty standard for both teams. You're going to see that Limp maxed out the Thrall here. His team's only going to have 3 goals for the 3 random pus on the map. Meanwhile, Band of the Red Hand going for 5 goals. They're not attempting to pop a white, so they will essentially have some decoy goals, which could confuse their opponents, as you know, if you're using a Forest Giant, you don't want that Forest Giant pus. It tends to be pussed longer than any of the other units. Maybe it has to do with status resistance or something like that in regards to the Myth engine. But anyway, looking at the trades real quick. Rat King and Asmodean on the Forest Giants for Band of the Red Hand. 2 pretty solid choices there. Meanwhile, Killer King, Shadow, LSO, and Slate all taking mortars. Akira and Thal on the Forest Giants for TB, with Verminex, Foss, Limp, and Ura, with packs of Berserks and some of the Thrall Elite as well. So fairly even splits here. You got 2 players with 15, 3 with 16, and 1 with 18. I mean, it all kind of makes sense. Let's see what's going on with the goals real quick, though. We know that the 3 going to TB are going to have pus. We can expect Rat King and Asmodean's goals to also have pus here, as they're both controlled by Forest Giants. I just want to keep an eye out. So you got Gamer with a goal here. Shadow has one, as well as LSO.
Flag captured.
We'll have to see who gets what here. Looks like Lord Scary Owl will pick up the 3rd pus for his team. And it looks like Thal is the non-Forest Giant player for Tandem Bike who has the pus. Actually, yeah, Kira has pus for his Forest Giant. What the fuck? Ura has pus? Alright, Thal has the other Forest Giant. So Ura's the guy with no Forest Giant with the pus. So far you got a 5-3 flag advantage for Band of the Red Hand here, and Asmodean gonna get some nice hits off on Akira's Forest Giant and pull it back before it's in range to get pussed.
Flag captured.
Tandem Bike catching up a little bit here. The southern flank of Band of the Red Hand, a little bit slow, but looks larger than the southeastern force of Tandem Bike. And Band of the Red Hand is going to pass the mid-tag to Tandem Bike, however they still maintain the lead. It looks like Rat King and Thal are facing off in the north as Modian's locked onto Akira, which is pretty appropriate for this match. They were once rivals in a 1 versus 1 money match. You can ask one of them who the champion was. But Band of the Red Hand are gonna take another flag here. They now have a 6-5 flag advantage, requiring Tandem Bike to take 2 more if they want to take back the lead, and of course prevent Band of the Red Hand from securing another flag. Looks like Killer King attempting to sneak a Thrall Elite through the water here. I'll probably miss how that plays out, but it's an interesting little tidbit. As we got Verm matching up against Foss, with Akira looking like he was in full retreat, but is now has some Zerks to support his Forest Giant. Looks like some pus went down here and dudded. And it looks like it was Rat King's. His goal is empty.
Flag captured.
Thal gonna secure a flag for Tandem Bike here. It's now 6 flags to 6 flags. It looks like Asmodean already used his pus, it went down. And it doesn't look like Akira's Forest Giant took damage in that exchange. And Akira still has his pus. Tough position to be. Yeah, both of the throwers the Forest Giant players for Tandem Bike both have pus. Kind of giving Tandem Bike an advantage here, but they gotta get a flag advantage to start feeling a little bit more comfortable. Band of the Red Hand pushes mid. Seems like they've met enough resistance where they're looking to retreat. As we see Verm swinging down to the middle part of the map. Shadow still facing off with Thal. South is a stalemate. Gamer's Mortar Dwarf able to survive there. But not that Berserk of Ura. And it looks like Asmodean has shown up mid, as well as Akira. South is a complete stalemate right now. It's between Slate and Foss. They're both playing rather passive. Limp might want to start using that Mortar Dwarf, see if he can give his team a micro-management advantage here, but his team is getting pushed mid. I wouldn't be surprised if he attempts to swing it. And he's using the Thrall to damage Asmodean's Tro here. He might not even realize he's taking damage, but Killer King's Thrall Elite swooping in to push them out. And the Forest Giant health advantage of that matchup now in favor of Akira. Rat King still has full health FG up north. He's going to get another punch in here on Thal, getting dangerously close to half health. And Rat King keeping his team's Mortar Dwarf safe. Verm just plowing right in, seeing what he's able to do. He pulls off his Zerks, attempting to get a shot in. Spreads out his own Zerks right there, negating a lot of the damage he would have received if he didn't do that. And mid is boring, south is boring, we're going back mid. And it looks like Thal got punched a couple more times. Yep, he's almost dead. I mean, Rat King's in really good shape here, and I mean, it looks like Thal's Puskul went down. Akira still has his Puskul. He has 2 fucking Puskuls. So, even though Band of the Red Hand still's got this full health green Tro, it can drop pretty quickly if it's Pus. Once. Never mind getting Pus twice. Let's see if what happens though. And a lot more communication coming from Tandem Bike this game with Band of the Red Hand. Staying rather quiet. They do have the lead, they do have the advantage, so they're probably just attempting to pay attention to the advances of their opponents. I mean, if none of the units moved here, Band of the Red Hand takes the victory, but I mean, they've even got the balls to push right now. There are 4 minutes remaining, and it seems like the 2 Forest Giants are, I mean, the 4 Forest Giants are just shadowing each other and keeping each other in place. All of the Morts for Tandem Bike getting picked off. Limp calling good game to his team. And it kind of looks that way unless, like, if the Southeast is able to push here, something amazing could happen, but it looks like Foss is going to send his Zerks in mid. And they already have that flag anyway, but very light defense on these flags. And it looks like the fight's going down over here. Some of the pus got neutralized. One of the pus is down on the ground. Lord Scary Owl will be picking that up. Akira's Forest Giant about to go down, and Thal's is very low health as well. It's not looking good for Tandem Bike. They're already down 14%. And essentially, the Forest Giants making up another 20%. This game looks a lot closer to a 30% disadvantage. It looks like South is finally going to push a little bit. There's no artillery or the Zerks to help assist here, though. It happens after Foss loses both of his dwarves. He did manage to take out one of Slate's dwarves. He did what he could, but everything is collapsing on Tandem Bike now.
Flag captured.
The southern flag going to Band of the Red Hand, as well as the west. We have victory imminent going to them. 2 minutes remaining here. Tandem Bike would have to get really lucky. Actually, I won't even play that game because I don't actually think luck exists. To be honest, Band of the Red Hand would have to like disconnect either the game or mentally and walk off all their shit, and Tandem Bike suddenly knows it and goes and captures the flags, because otherwise Band of the Red Hand is going to take this game. As well as the match, it seems, looks like it will go to 3-1. Limp already knowing the game's over, he's just taunting away with his units. So it is now 3-1 in favor of Band of the Red Hand. They essentially win the match. There still is Game 5 to play, which is, I guess, one of the benefits of the qualifying rounds. You know, sometimes a match that is over in 3 or 4 games instead of 5 in the elimination rounds will get played out, just because many games of Myth are not played much at all anyway.
Team eliminated.
But in the qualifying rounds, you got to play them all out because each game is worth at least a point. And honestly, if it wasn't played out, then I'm not awarding either of these teams a point, as well as one of the teams in another game, or two if they both tie, are getting points because they played the game 5. So that's why you got to play all the qualifying round maps, win or lose, play through them, get them done. This is the last match. So after the next game, we have it done. But for now, one last look at this game. Let's go through the stats real quick. Band of the Red Hand controlling the kills in the early game. Pretty close in damage until about the mid-game. Band of the Red Hand just takes over. Going through specific statistics, we have a 66 to 22 kill loss ratio for the Band of the Red Hand team. I mean, that's a 3-0 ratio. Pretty good. It's pretty clear just from reading that they controlled the BC fight of this game. Whether that means able to have their mortars take out enemy mortars, neutralizing enemy pus goals. Their pus goes off while tandem bikes duds or just misses. Little factors like that deciding this. But abundantly, it just comes down to better play in regards to BC. And so, individual stats. Lord Scary Owl dropping with the 5, 21 damage. Slate going 20 and 2. Best individual ratios of the game. A 10 ratio for kills to losses. He nets 35 damage. Asmodean 14 and 2. Really good ratios there as well. 35 damage. Killer King 9 and 1. I mean, ratios for days. I'm done talking about it. Killer King 9 and 1. 33 damage. Shadow 7 and 8. 42 damage. Coming up with the most damage, not the prettiest ratios. I couldn't help myself. 41 damage for Rat King, going 7 to 1, and 15 damage for Gamer with 4 kills and 3 losses. Meanwhile, for Tandem Bike, Limp going 1 for 27 and 11 damage. Verminex, most damage in the game. Unfortunately, it's not enough for the Tandem Bikes. He had 8 kills and 11 losses. And that was also without a Forest Giant. He just had mortars. Was he north? I forget where he was. Could have been. Where's the body parts? They're blown to pieces. Yeah, I think Verm was north. No, he was south against Foss. No, Foss is on his team. Yeah, I definitely had a wrong call earlier. It was Slate playing for Band of the Red Hand in the south the whole time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Verm was north. He ends up 8 and 11, but dropping 63 damage. Probably a lot of damage to both of the enemy Forest Giants, as well as taking out some enemy Mortar Dwarfs here and there. Anyway, Thal 7 and 6, 22 damage. Foss 2 and 7, 16 damage. Ura 2 and 12, 14 damage. And Akira 1 and 7 with 14 damage. And so there you have it, folks. A 3-1 match lead to Band of the Red Hand. We are going into Game 5. We'll have to see if Tandem Bike can end the match on a high note with a victory, or if Band of the Red Hand ends up asserting their dominance in a in a more assertive way by winning Game 5. We'll just have to see how it goes. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast, and see you another time.
Game over.